Championship Sunday is here. First game is the AFC Championship game. Cincinnati Bengals going on the road to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. A rematch of a late regular season game where the Cincinnati Bengals actually beat the Kansas City Chiefs. That game was very significant because it cost the Kansas City Chiefs the number one seed, or so we thought. That leads to how the Cincinnati Bengals got here. Well, they did. Well, obviously they beat the Raiders and they beat the Tennessee Titans. And to be honest with you, I really should have taken the Cincinnati Bengals to defeat the Tennessee Titans. It's because it was clear as day the Titans just lucked their way into the number one seed. If it wasn't thanks to Kansas City getting their asses kicked by the Chiefs earlier that season, who knows? But it is what it is. It is. And God, Tannehill wasted an awesome defensive performance by the Tennessee Titans defense. 9 sacks. But credit the Cincinnati defense for creating the big turnovers when they needed to. And Joe Burrow didn't necessarily play great, but he did throw an interception in that game. Regardless of whose fault it was. But he did good enough to advance to the championship game along with Cincinnati's defense. Which is more than I could say about Tannehill, and not just Tannehill, but more than I could say about a certain other quarterback. The one that's supposed to be the greatest quarterback since sliced bread was invented. More on that when I talk about the NFC Championship game. And the Chiefs. How did the Chiefs get here? Well, we all know how the Chiefs got here, so I won't bore you guys to fucking death. But this is their third. They're hosting their third playoff game of the postseason, the first time in NFL history that has happened, and it's also their fourth consecutive. They're also hosting their fourth consecutive conference championship game, again, which is the first time in NFL history. And I'll tell you what, since they lost to Tennessee in the fashion that they did, the Chiefs have been, that was their wake-up call as far as I'm concerned, because since then the Chiefs have been back to the Kansas City Chiefs. Their defense has been playing a lot better since then. Patrick Mahomes has adjusted nicely. And I will say this, what a fucking game that was in the divisional round between the Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills. Very rarely does a quarterback almost get zero blame for the loss. But that's exactly what happened. Josh Allen outdueled Patrick Mahomes, at least during the regulation side of things. But because Buffalo's defense was pure fucking shit, because Leslie Frazier can't call fucking plays to save his life, which is why he's not ever going to get a head coaching job in the NFL ever again. What? And after, at least not during the 2022 cycle of NFL hiring coaching hirings or whatever the fuck. And of course the overtime period. Yes, the Chiefs won the fucking coin toss, and Buffalo never saw the ball again. And they'll blame it on those, and they will blame it on those pesky overtime rules. those pesky overtime rules. And for once, Andy Reid did not actually did well at clock management. He saved all 3 timeouts. It's fucking shocker. That usually never happens. It's not when you talk about Andy Reid. He usually fucks up in situations like that. But he's actually. But it is what it is there. But yeah, Buffalo's defense clearly cost them the game. That's why Daboll or DeBall, or however the fuck you want to pronounce that guy's name, is the head coach of the Giants. But anyway, enough about that shit. Enough talk. Enough bullshit. Shit. It's coin flip time, and it better land on my fucking hand because I am not in the mood for fucking bullshit. I'm sorry. And sorry about my last video. One time. Try again. Heads, yeah. Okay, go ahead and take the Kansas City Chiefs to defeat the Cincinnati Bengals. I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to learn from the last time they faced the Bengals. It's all That's the thing. The Chiefs, yeah. That's all I've got to say about that. I'll get to the NFC Championship game later on in the day. But it's time. But it is playoff time. It's time. Let's see what happens. Vince, will the Chiefs make it to the Super Bowl for the third consecutive season, or will it be the Cincinnati Bengals for the first time since 1988? God, they haven't won a playoff game in 31 years, and now they've won 2 playoff games this postseason. I will say this: whatever happens today, the Bengals have nothing to be ashamed of. Hell of a fucking run for the Bengals this season. That's it. That's all. Till next time. Later, fuckers.